In this tutorial, we're going to look at using SOHCAHTOA to find the missing side length of a right-angled triangle. It's important to make sure you remember what the letters in SOHCAHTOA stand for first of all. So S stands for sine of the angle, O stands for the opposite side length, H stands for the hypotenuse, C stands for cosine of the angle, A stands for the adjacent side length, and T stands for tan of the angle. In our first example here, we're asked to find the value of x in the following triangle. So your first step is to label the side you are trying to find and the side whose length is already given. So the side we're trying to find is this one here, labeled x. And so using our reference angle there, that would be the opposite side. Next, we label the side whose length is given. That would be this one with 10 meters. That is the hypotenuse. Step 2 requires us to choose the SOHCAHTOA triangle that has both of our labeled sides. So our labeled sides are the opposite and the hypotenuse. And only one of these triangles has both of those in it, and that would be this one here. It has both the opposite and the hypotenuse. So I can ignore the rest of those at the moment and just focus on the SOH triangle. For step 3, we need to identify the equation to be written. We do this by covering up the letter that we're trying to find on the SOH triangle here. So we're trying to find, the opposite. So I'm going to cover that one up completely. And then you can see what's left there is the calculation we need to perform. So our calculation is going to be sine theta times hypotenuse. Now theta is just representing whatever our reference angle is. Our final step is to substitute the appropriate values into our equation. So looking at our diagram here, we can see that the opposite is represented by the letter x on our diagram, and theta, which is our reference angle, that's 30 degrees. And finally, the hypotenuse is 10 meters. So I've substituted all of those things in and I do my calculation, which is sine 30 times 10. And on the calculator, that gives me 5. Now don't forget to make sure you do check the unit of measurement. We're looking at meters. You do need to write that in your answer. So 5 meters is our missing side length. Let's look at another example. In this example, we're asked to find the value of y. As always, our first step is to label two sides Only two sides, the side we're trying to find and the side whose length is already given. Okay, so as you can see here, the side we're trying to find is the adjacent side, and the side whose length is given is the opposite side. Then we look at our SOHCAHTOA triangles and we choose the one that has both of our labelled sides, O and A. Only this one has both O and A, so that is the triangle we're going to look at. Our third step is to write the appropriate equation by covering up the letter that we're trying to find. So in this case, we're trying to find the adjacent side. So on my diagram here, I'm going to cover up the A, the adjacent, and you can see that we are left with O over T. So we're trying to find the adjacent side, and to do that, calculation is going to be O over T, or O divided by T, same thing. Our final step is to substitute in the values and do the calculation to find the missing side length. So looking at my diagram here, A, the adjacent side, is represented by the pronumeral Y on our diagram. O, the opposite side, is 4 meters. T stands for tan of the angle. So tan, our reference angle there is 60 degrees. So I'll put that on my calculator. I get 2.3, and meters is our unit of measurement. And that's the end of our SOHCAHTOA tutorial.